Testing 1, 2. Cool. So, yeah, day 2 and trust traffic. Everyone's got their laptops with, charged and good to go.
Yeah, that's fine. Just there, yeah.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, guys, so like I mentioned yesterday, extremely grateful to be here with you guys. As in a way, trust traffic, not so long ago, didn't have a name, but it was all in my head. And as it became an actual concept to be able to, I can now draw as well and teach it to someone. This is kind of like my baby. Really exciting. I want to share this to you guys because mainly the reason is, and the reason why I do what I do is, I believe coaches and trainers specifically have the ability to change so many lives from day-to-day interactions. And I truly believe that if I can help you work with more people, you can change more people's lives. And if you can change more people's lives, their lives will change around them. And we start this massive ripple effect. So I come from this place where if I can just help you make a difference in the world through your advertising, because we can use platforms to really just scale it out. We can reach people that will never do business with you, and you can change their lives. That is huge to me. So my big aim by the end of this is twofold. I want to give you a system that has over time been developed to be able to get your message out there to the right people, to make a difference in their lives, but also with the intent to grow your business so that you can stay in business and it makes it easier for you to change more lives moving forward. So trust traffic, the idea behind that came from, in the current marketplace, there's so many people advertising. Everyone in this room has access to Facebook to advertise. Everyone can put something out there to go and buy my stuff. Now everyone is doing that, and at the same time, because everyone is doing that, the general market becomes skeptical. They don't know what they can trust, who to trust, what's this, is this a scam, is this the right thing? So the way to counter all of that is to build up trust, because people like to do business with people that they trust. And the way that we do that is by adding value in the marketplace, and when the time is right, they will then be open to the idea to do business with you. And if they're not, that's cool too. So that we just keep doing what we do anyway, because that's why we are coaches, right? So what I loved yesterday about this scale here, what do you call this, by the way?
Emotional frequency chart.
Emotional frequency chart. Because prior to yesterday, I've had a glance at it, and then Ryan told me a little bit more about it. And throughout the day, I was like, we've actually been doing this with our clients. And it takes them through this process for where they come from when they are producing content and when they create ads for us to push out there. And then when we all play at this top level space, magical things happen. Because, guess they're not down here. So they keep showing up regardless of the outcome, because they have the intent to just keep on giving more and more and more. So today's going to be twofold. We're going to go through some top level things. I want to share with you the overview, the strategy, so that you get it. And it's what you guys have been doing already, some of you guys. For everyone else, it is just to complement you for everything else that you'll be doing in the future. So that you can integrate this with anything that you're doing at this point in time and anything you want to do in the future, so that you always have the right tools available. So we're going to go twofold. We're going to go top view, top level, and then we're going to go dive straight in, and we're going to use your laptops to set everything else up. By now, you all would have received an invitation via Basecamp in your email. My team has set you up in our project management tool so that it actually gives us our entire list to work through over the next couple of days. Cool? I've done it this way so that even for those of you that may not have your funnel set up the right way that you want it to be, that's okay. So you can take from this and you'll just note the tasks that haven't been completed yet, so you can go back and watch these videos and complete it yourself. So that is always for you to fall back on. It's like, oh, I'm launching this new funnel. Cool, what do I need to do? Step this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that'll be available for you for the whole time. Cool? Awesome. I just quickly want to check in with everyone with the homework or the pre-work actually. Who's completed that? Just raise of hands?
Mostly.
Mostly? When you say mostly, what do you mean?
I did some last night, did some this morning, just sort of ran out of time both times. We've got about few questions to go right at the end.
Okay, cool. From the top questions or
Down to the bottom.
Okay, cool, awesome. So the homework will definitely make this whole process a lot easier, just because it's a lot of research that needs to be done beforehand. But I don't know if you guys have noticed, the questions that I've asked is also to get you thinking a little bit of the higher space as well when we look at the emotional frequency, because that's what we're going to be playing at the next couple of days. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I want to start here. This is the brand trust awareness scale. Now, through all of these things that I want to be teaching you today, I can't claim anything to be original, that I'm the inventor of it. It is purely through my research, through my studies, that I've been able to put all of this together in a way that it's digestible and also to make sense that, cool, this is what we need to do to take people on this journey. So the brand awareness scale is pretty simple. It comes from Eugene Swatch, who's a brilliant copywriter from the early 1900s. What he's done is he created a scale that takes people on a certain journey, or it identifies where people are in the buying cycle for him to be able to write copy at the right, with the right intention for them to make a buying decision. So it starts on the left-hand side when people are completely unaware, or people who are problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware. Now what it means is, as you're talking about your product, we tend to begin straight away with, hey everyone, this is the product, this is what I'm selling. So we go straight into...
Would it be possible to get a copy of the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Because I think everyone's like trying to madly write.
Cool, awesome. Let's start here. If you go to your inbox right now and go and set up your Basecamp account, all of this is already in there for you. Yeah. Then I'll get it to you. You can look onto look at a neighbor's screen. So everything that we'll be covering today, guys, you've already got access to. It's there. You can, revisit it at any time. So the brand awareness scale is used in a way to identify where people are at in the buying cycle so that we know how to address them and how to position our product. If people are in the unaware scale, they don't really know they've got a problem, or they don't really know they have anything to worry about. They're quite content with where they are. It's not until a problem is raised that something happens for them to realize that, oh shit, I've got a problem. Once they realize that there's a problem, it might be an external trigger that made them think that, this is no longer the norm. They start looking for solutions. And when they're looking for solutions, they go and look at everything that's available for them. How am I going to fix this problem? It's only after they've looked at a few solutions, they look at product. What product is going to fit the solution? And with the right product, as they've done the research, they become most aware to be able to make a buying decision that this is the right one for them. Let me give you an example. I like to use the fitness analogy because it's quite easy to get. We talk about a typical female who is a little bit overweight, right? And she no longer fits in her favorite pairs of jeans. Prior to that, she was unaware to it until she tried to put on her favorite pairs of jeans. It's like, shit, fuck, these are no longer fitting. It's now a problem. Damn it, I can no longer wear this. She goes looking for a solution. How do I lose weight to fit in my perfect pair of jeans? She looks at certain products that's available. I can get a PT, can join a gym, I can do this, I can do that diet, keto, whatever it may be. all of these different products are available for me. I just need to know which one is the right one for me so I can make the buying decision to do that. The same way that the market flows through this is how they are aware with your brand as well. So in the awareness scale, if people don't know that you exist, who you are, in the problem way, do they know the problems that you solve for them? The solutions, do they know the solutions that you provide to solve your clients' problems? And the products, do they know what products you provide? And most of where they've already bought some of your coaching programs and they're ready to buy again. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
This stuff is like the fundamental marketing psychology and persuasion psychology that makes people good marketers proactively. So, yeah, he's teaching you the fundamentals that are so valuable.
Yeah. So we use this information when we work with clients, and what we want to do over the next couple of days is we'll be using this scale and we're combining it with everything else that we teach to identify where your market is at on the scale and how do we craft ads that takes them from those who are completely unaware that you exist. They don't even know that you're part of this world. For them to become aware of you, to understand what problems that you help people solve or that you solve for people, for your clients, the solutions that you provide, your products, and for them to ultimately buy so that they become part of you. This is our job as marketers. We take people on this journey and we do it in a very clever way. And the reason why we use Facebook is we can actually follow people throughout this journey to see exactly where they fit in and then retarget them over and over to take them on the journey until they're ready to buy. Typically what happens is people go and they straight away go and advertise to everyone else. They go, buy my stuff. And you go out to a cold market and you're like, hey, I've got this awesome product, buy it. And that's cool. The problem with that is everyone else is doing that as well. So we're fighting in a very competitive marketplace. The idea behind this is to create our own kind of audience of people who love us, and then when they're ready to buy, we're not competing with anyone else. We're the right person for them at that time. Make sense?
So you're creating your own market in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to use the fishing analogy. So if we look at Facebook and it's the entire ocean, right? It's pretty fucking huge. So we could go, and if we want to go and catch marlin, which is a nice trophy fish, we could go and catch it at certain parts in the world, but we need to have the season right. We need to have the right gear and all of those things to be able to go for this one particular fish. Now the idea behind this is, rather than going to travel everywhere else, we simply just lure the fish close to us so that we can put a net around it. And then when we're ready to go and fish, we've got our own little pond in the ocean of Facebook that we can just go and catch from. So it is as we are warming people up in our audience, they then become part of our net, part of our pond, so that there's no one else fishing in this pond. Make sense? Cool? Awesome. So as part of the pre-work, let's go through this real quick and just note down in terms of, on the customer market awareness scale, where do you believe your ideal customer is currently sitting? Are they completely unaware that she doesn't even realize that they have a problem? Or are they at least aware of the problem? Are they aware of the solutions that could help her, him or her? Are they aware of the products in the marketplace that would solve their problems? Or have they invested into solutions similar to what you're offering before?
I have a question about
Yeah.
Would you say like your ideal customer, like our ideal customer, wouldn't they always, like ideally they'd be the most aware, but that might not be who we have access to yet?
Yeah, correct. So for that example, let's take coaching. If I've just invested into a coach, I'm aware that coaches exist. I'm aware that I need a coach, right? But I've just invested with another coach. If you're now trying to sell me to come and work with you, very low chance that I'm going to invest to work with you at this very point in time. I need to go through my own cycle again to understand that, I now have a problem with my current coach and it's no longer a good fit. This is the problem that I'm experiencing. Now I'm looking for other solutions. Maybe coaching isn't for me. Maybe I need to get a different kind of solution. Maybe I could just read a book, right? And then from there, I look at the different products that's available, and then I make a new buying decision. So yes, ideally they are at that point, but where are they really? Because if you're competing for everyone else who's aware of that, who's in that pond, that's everyone else in this room as well, in a way, right? So the idea behind this is, although there's everyone else that can do it, there's plenty of fish in the sea. The only thing that we're doing here differently is we're creating the longevity of this so that we can actually scale this out. We can sustain this for a longer period of time. Because people who are going through those cycles, when they're ready, they come and work with you. Cool?
Is it, yeah, because I guess at the moment you almost have to catch, they've got to see you're at the right time and their mindset and everything has to align, whereas this way you're warming them up over a period of time, so it's
Correct, yeah.
opens that.
Yep, that's exactly what we're doing. And how we do that is in a very clever way that we actually use Facebook to do all of the heavy lifting. Facebook sends our ads out to the right people that we've identified. And by the way that they behave, they qualify themselves to almost, become a little bit warmer and a little bit warmer until it's ready for us to position our offer for them to take action on it. The same way on the brand trust awareness scale, when we look at, do people even know that you exist? And I just want to mention with you, Stephen, right?
Yeah.
So with this, yesterday was awesome for you to step up and start getting your stuff out there, because prior to that, no one even knows that you exist.
They don't.
So
Only my mum.
exactly, yeah. And that's where we all start, right? So the idea behind this is that we all start somewhere, and then this is how you started building up your platform so that people understand the kind of problems that you help people with, the kind of solutions that you provide, the products that you provide and how you do that. And then ultimately, if they've bought with you before, then it's just a simple, hey, I'm doing this again, you want to come along. Cool? I'll give you, actually, before we get into that, I use these color codes to identify the different kinds of campaigns that we'll be running. So the top of funnel, TOF for top of funnel, is very much to create awareness and to help people identify or know about the problems that you're solving or you're highlighting problems for them. When they get to the middle of funnel, MOF, we talk about the solutions and the products. And when they're at the bottom of the funnel, that's when they're most aware. That's when we can hit them up with the offer straight away. Now, the way that this works is, top of funnel, typically we would go and target cold interests, so all of these individual interests. Now, the big problem with that is, I don't know about you, but when I started using Facebook, I started liking a lot of things. And that was over 10 years ago. I haven't unliked those things. So a lot of the people that we would be targeting in the top of funnel range, they might never buy from you. And that's okay. Because most likely it's an old identity that they have, that they've kind of liked on back then. If we think about addiction for a moment, someone wants to go and give up sugar, right? So they like this page, I quit sugar, and they go all in. They're ready to get rid of their sugar cravings and everything. A few months pass, they get rid of sugar. They keep living their life on. They never unlike that part of quitting sugar. Someone goes out and is like, hey, I've got this awesome new solution. It'll help you quit all of your sugar cravings. That is no longer an identity match. So that person has now moved on. So from the majority of people that we would be targeting, typically when we look at cold interest, there's no longer a good association with that. So it's no longer a trusted source of people to use. So how do we counter that? We counter that with our copy. Because we know that if we solve one problem, there's the next problem to solve. And there's the next problem. So yes, that person might have solved their sugar craving, but what's the next kind of thing that they're looking to work on? and then how do we take them on that journey so that we can position ourselves for that next solution for them. Does that make sense? I myself was never really a hats guy, and it wasn't until 2 years ago when Em, for the very first time Christmas, bought me a hat. She bought me a trucker's cap, and specifically she told me to wear it backwards because I look sexy in that. So up until that point, for 28 years, I never wore hats. I didn't think hats suited me. I was in the market that was completely unaware of, yeah, like I look good in hats or whatever it may be, right? So I was in that marketplace of I'd never buy hats until Em brought to my realization that I look hotter when I wear it. So I'm like, oh shit, I've got a problem here. So how do I solve that? I wear a hat, right? Now, what happened is the moment I become problem aware, I'm like, cool, I need to find a solution. Last year we were in Japan, or earlier this year we were in Japan, and we were walking around and I forgot my hat. So we went through the markets and I bought these awesome 2 caps. Solved that problem, I found a product and I bought it straight away, right? But after that, I no longer need to buy a new hat because I've got 2 now. I landed in Bali, first thing I messaged her, shit, I forgot my hat. So I'm now in the market again to go and buy a hat. So I go through this whole cycle over and over. And the same thing will happen with your clients. As they go through cycles of what they've currently just bought, they don't realize that they've currently got a problem, so they're completely unaware of it. So the idea is, how do we warm those people up by the time that they're ready to buy the next coaching program, or if they're ready to solve their next solution, you're front of mind. Does that make sense? Awesome. So guys, we're going to do 2 things today. We're going to look at a campaign brief, and the campaign brief ultimately determines the success of the campaign by establishing everything else that you need in order to make this campaign work. We look at numbers, we look at the strategy, and then we look at the concepts and the actual ads itself. So by the end of the day, we're going to be setting up our top of funnel campaigns. And on Thursday, we're going to be setting up our middle of funnel and bottom of funnel campaigns. So by the end of the next 2 days, you've got a whole system that works for you. Does that make sense?
Awesome.
Is that cool?
Awesome, yeah.
Awesome. So let's get technical. Everyone open up your laptops and sign up for Basecamp if you haven't already.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Stephen sent me his one.
You won't be able to. You need your own invitation. So just have a look through there. I'll grab your email address so I can get my team to send you an invitation.
I don't have one.
You don't have one either?
Yeah, mine just saying, oh, you've taken mine.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll send it to him.
If you give it away, someone's going to take it.
I'll take his.
Well, now it says I've got your project.
Cool. So for right now, just look together because we're just going to go over a lot of the top level stuff. And I'll make sure that you have access before we dive into the actual account. So Basecamp is quite simple. And I'll quickly bring it up here. Cool. So everyone's in there, except for you, Sam and Steve. Everyone's in their Basecamp, right? So what you'll see here is 2 things, and what's important for you. There's a to-dos list. So this is all of the to-dos that we'll be working through today. And there's a documents list. And the documents are the documents that I've made available, and those are the ones that you need to make a copy of to put in your own Google Drive so you can work on that throughout today. So we're going to start with doing some of the prep work that you guys have already prepared, but we're going to fill it in. So I want everyone to go and click on the Add KPI calculator, open that up, and just make a copy in your own Google Drive. And if you need help, I'm here to support. That's the whole point of the next 2 days. So let me know if you're stuck.
It's saying view only, set up request access.
Yep, so on the left-hand side, top left, click on File, and you can make a copy.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and then just add that to your drive. So everyone on the left top-hand side, make a copy, and then add it to your drive. Do the same with the slides as well. So the trust traffic brief. Everyone's got that?
Yep. Sorry, how do you get into it? File, docs and file. Copy.
Yep, so click on it.
Which one?
Both of those. Just click on one first, yeah.
See, I'm trying to log in on his.
Yeah, you won't be able to log in if the user doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Wait until we go on a break and I'll make sure that
Okay,
Tim can
I'll
put that up for you. Just look together here right now.
This one, huh?
Yep, so open it up in Google. Cool.
And go the other one.
Yep, you just need to make a copy of that in your Google Drive because you won't be able to edit it. Everyone's got it set up?
Still setting.
Still setting up? Cool. Awesome. You got a question?
I just wondered if you wanted the figures to be weekly or monthly.
We're going to go through that. All right, guys. We're going to start with the KPI calculator. The reason we're starting with that is quite simple. Digital marketing is nothing but ones and zeros. It's either working or it's not working. And the reason we know that it's working is if we have numbers in place that gives us our KPIs. If it's performing underneath that, awesome. If it's over that, let's look at where's the weakest link so we can fix that up. So what I've done here is, and what you've got access to, and this will depend on the business model that you have or the funnels that you're running at this point in time. There's two kinds of calculators. There's those that are just going straight to a phone application. I believe that's an opportunity funnel, right? The second one is with a lead magnet, so a hook funnel, straight into an application funnel. So the reason we have those two models there is what we're going to do now is we're going to reverse engineer your entire sales process.
Applications, opportunity.
Yeah. So we're going to do this together, and depending on the funnel that you have, we're going to fill in these numbers. So what you're going to see is two sides. The left-hand side is going to be industry benchmarks that I've already filled in. On the right-hand side is your actuals. What this is going to show us is exactly, at the end of the day, the total sales goal that we have, what it is that's going to cost us to acquire that sale, and how much we're going to spend to acquire that, and it's going to break down everything else for us. So we're going to start two ways. First, we're going to start with the actual goal that we have. Now, you can break this down if you want to run a one-off campaign, or if you want to run it as